Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Shem Rakakwadash, and I want to say Shalom to Aknakwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently. I'm at you once again with another lesson. This is another edition of the Judgement Report coming at you on, what are we in, June 22nd of 2025. And I got 6 things up here, all right, that I went and got off of Google News. Just, a couple different things that, screamed out at me. I said, all right, those seem interesting to me, so let's go and touch on them. I got them structured lightly. Kind of want, the quote-unquote natural disasters and the natural disasters and the spirits of vengeance with the spirits of vengeance. So I got them kind of, laid out like that, but we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. A couple different things that have been happening. All right. So the first one we got right here is from CBS News, local news from out in somewhere through this area, right? North Dakota, Minnesota area for those people. I'm not local to that area, but it's their local news, right? So local northwestern Minnesota news, I suppose. So says at least 3 dead after a tornado ripped through North Dakota. Northern Minnesota sustains heavy storm damage. And, this past year, it seems that there's been a lot of tornadoes, man. Like, matter of fact, I'm actually asked ChatGPT that. Stay logged out. How many tornadoes have we seen in total in 2025? I'll just say just in America. It's going to pull that info for us. Yeah, damn. All right, says as of now, June 2025, preliminary tornado reports in the U.S. amount to roughly 1,010 for the year. Here's the breakdown on the data. On May 26th, the Storm Prediction Center had logged 1,100 local storm reports for tornadoes. Earlier counts include 922 preliminary reports by May 20th. Approximately 960 to 1,000 plus reported between May 26th and 22nd and 26th. For context, full year totals typically exceed 1,200. In 2024 ended in 1,780 confirmed tornadoes. Important caveat, these are preliminary counts, meaning a tornado spotted multiple times may count more than once. Official statistics are typically finalized over the next 12 to 18 months. You can see, okay, that's what I was going to ask. Current preliminary total as of late May, 1,010 tornadoes in the U.S. This is significantly above the mid-year average, 727 for this time frame, and well above the 660 average by late May. Final numbers for the full year 2025 will be released by NOAA Storm Prediction Center next year. So, yeah, they're significantly higher than normal. Okay, significantly higher than normal, which, should tell you right off the bat where we're at. Let's get a scripture. Which one do I want to get? It's really signs of the time. What's the scripture I'm thinking of? Yeah, that's it. Luke 21. No. 25. I wonder why the King James Bible Online wasn't coming up. That would be why I didn't type in King James Version. So, let's get this. All right, this is Luke 21:25. Really, dealing with the days coming in Jacob's trouble. But the Lord gave us signs, and well, actually, as a matter of fact, the one I want to get is all right. This is Luke 21 and 25. Then we'll jump over to Matthew. But this is Luke 21 and 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring." Okay? So there's going to be signs everywhere, right? You're going to see signs everywhere. And, we see a lot of signs. Now, those people that aren't, occupied in prophecy, all right? As we just got the other day, occupied in prophecy, shall search out, and for deep parables, there they shall be also. Right here. You're not going to understand it unless, as I mentioned yesterday, here's Ecclesiastes 39 and 1. "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High," someone that's actually dedicated to Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies." So you're going to be, looking. If you're not looking, you're not going to see anything. All right. If there's a lion that's sneaking up on you, unless you turn around and look at, you're trying to look for that lion, and you're probably not going to see it, and you're going to end up dying. Ecclesiastes 39 and 2. "He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also." It's just like a blind person, if unless you're really paying attention, unless you're actually looking, you're going to end up stumbling, you're going to end up burning yourself on something, and it's just going to be a ridiculous situation. So why would you do that to yourself willingly, right? So, jumping over to Matthew, verse, we'll start with 1, Matthew 16 and 1. It says, "The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, When it is evening, ye say, It will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the time?" So what's being said here, in short, if you want to, overly simplify it, it's basically saying, when you see, the clouds outside, and it's getting darker, and, the sky's, turning different colors, you can tell that it's going to be a storm. Or when, those things aren't there, you can tell that it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a clear weather, right? But you can't discern, with all these things going on in the world, all right, you can't discern the signs of the time, all right? With all these things going on in the world, you just don't know where we're at. You can't put two and two together and realize that we're in the end days. You don't know where we're at. We think, oh, no, it's fine. No, it's not that bad yet. No, it's not that, right? So you can't discern the signs of the times, but you can tell when the weather's going to be bad. You can look up and say, oh, look at that cloud. It's going to be bad. But you can't say, oh, look what's going on in the world. It's going to be bad, right? You'll say it's bad, but you're not going to think that Armageddon's going to come from it, all right? The end of the world and Yahushai's return, right? Or as you would say, Jesus, right? Ignorantly, all right? Because that's not his name. But, I've spoken to these Christians before. They're constantly under the ideology that, oh, he's coming back. He is, but, not in our lifetime. Maybe not in even, your lifetime. Maybe not even in your grandchildren's lifetime. Unfortunately, even my father subscribes to that idea. And it's a ridiculous mindset to be in, and really what it is they're scared as shit, and they don't want, the Lord to come back because for one reason or another. And it's probably because they know that they're not doing right. And or they just don't want to go through the trial and tribulation. They just don't want to go through it, right? And I'm not just speaking about my father. I'm speaking about anybody that subscribes to that mindset. It's really because they don't want to have to, go through Jacob's trouble. They don't want to have to go through the worst time ever. They don't want to have to, be in that situation. They say so. They put it outside of the frame of their mind and say, "Oh no, it surely can't happen during our lifetime. Maybe not even your lifetime. So long as afterward, dead and gone, then he'll come." No, man, it's ridiculous. All right, and it really just shows that, they're not ready for it. Right, people that subscribe to that, ideology, that mindset, that Christian mindset of, oh, not in our time, not in our time. Wouldn't you want it to be in your time? It means you get saved, right? So, so going back, At least 3 dead after a tornado rips through North Dakota. Northern Minnesota sustains heavy storm damage. And we've been seeing lots and lots and lots of this. I'm not going to read too much of it because pretty much we already got what happened. People dying in tornadoes. But it says 3 people are dead in North Dakota and tens of thousands are without power in northern Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin after powerful winds swept across the upper Midwest Friday and overnight Saturday. National Weather Service meteorologist Brian Hurley says the complex storm system produced tornadic activity, large hail, and strong wind gusts. Tornado kills 3 in North Dakota town. Cass County Sheriff Jesse Janner, it's probably Janner, Jesse Janner, said at a press conference Saturday that 2 men and a woman were killed at 2 separate locations in the town of Enderlin, North Dakota, late Friday. Enderlin is about 57 miles southwest of Fargo. Says Timothy Lynch, lead forecaster with the Weather Service's Grand Forks office, said the storm had been confirmed as a tornado, but that crews were still working to determine its strength and highest wind speeds. He said the storm impacted the neighboring counties of Cass and Ransom. We still have some people out investigating and gathering information on what happened. It was a pretty major event, Lynch told the Associated Press on Saturday. Pretty major event. 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts in northern Minnesota, officials say. A tornado warning was issued for Minnesota's Beltrami County just after midnight, with torrential rains causing flash flooding in downtown Bemidji. Bemidji? What a weird name. And down trees blocking dozens of roadways, according to the county emergency manager, Christopher Mueller. He described damage in the Bemidji area, located more than 200 miles northwest of Minneapolis, as extensive. Scores of fallen power lines. So, I guess this is a little bit of the footage here. Let's go back.
Cleanup is underway.
We'll play it. We have the right to use this. All right, all brothers in this truth, we have the right to use this under the Fair Use Act. We are allowed to use it. Don't come for us.
Well, a massive cleanup is underway in Beltrami County. The National Weather Service says the area saw a 10-mile swath of straight-line storms early Saturday morning. 6,200 people are still without power. Our Frankie McLister has been up there all night covering the damage. Frankie, what can you tell us?
Esme, you cannot forget about these people up north because they are dealing with a lot. The city and the county both declared a state of emergency because of this right here. Now, the National Weather Service is declaring this. They're saying their preliminary survey results say this was not a tornado. In fact, we're going to show you how big of a magnitude something like this can cause. You saw just the base of that tree, guys, and we're seeing sites just like this everywhere. Now, take a look as our photojournalist John Blake shows you the magnitude of something just like this. And folks, this is just one person in one yard up here in Beltrami County. Now, where do you even begin with something like this? We asked many of the residents.
Chainsaws and loudleaf blowers. Now replacing the 120-mile-an-hour winds seen in this lakeside community.
You were sleeping.
I was in that room right there.
Causing an unforgettable night for Christine Smith.
And my bed faces this way, you know, right under that dormer, right under there. So I just jumped up, looked out the window. All I could see was, you know, the branches.
On Sunday, those branches are continuing to be cleaned up across Beltrami County. Thousands remain out of power, causing businesses like Tree Pros to be off the charts.
This is as bad as I've seen. A lot of times we're the first people on the scene, so people are usually still in shock. But yeah, after I find out how everyone's doing and what's going on, we'll take a look at the tree because that's the first part in getting everything back in order.
We're all fine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Some people aren't, though. But, yeah, they say Beltrami, but surely cannot be whatever this word is. I'm curious. How do you even pronounce that?
Bemidji.
Bemidji. All right, Bemidji. Weird. But yeah, man, you see it. People's houses getting messed up. Surely that's not fun for them. All right, Edomites anyhow. But yeah, man, people are dying because of it too. All right, and you heard the guy said, he said it's the worst I've seen. Worker guy here, he said it's the worst I've seen. So, hey, man, that's something you got to realize. We're coming into times where it's going to get worse and worse and worse. You're going to see more storm damage. You're going to see more winds, more floods, all these different types of things. More fires, all right? How are fires doing? How are fires doing? Let's see. A lot of them, all right? 29,239, but what over 7,112 specifically total fires in 2025. There you go, a 37% increase over the decade. So we didn't even need it. It says AccuWeather forecasts 7 to 9 million acres burn nationwide per year, above the 7.5 historical average. So we're burning more, we're flooding more. So again, can you not discern the signs of the times? You not understand this? Why is everything getting worse and not getting better? It'll get better. So time and time again, that has proved false. That has proved false. All right, so let's grab a scripture here. Where are we? Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one right here. Isaiah 28:2. Behold, the Lord we'll read from 2. I was going to see, do I want to read up? This is Isaiah 28:2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Now, this is vague, all right, as it is, right? What's the word vague mean?
Vague.
All right. Not uncertain, but indefinitive. Okay. It's not. It doesn't give you the exact ways. It says a tempest of hail, a destroying storm. A destroying storm is purposely left vague because the Lord has that in His ability. A destroying storm that can be a tornado. That can be really just high winds. That can be like even it says a flood of mighty waters. A storm can be many things. What type of storm? Storm, if you look at storm, okay, a violent disturbance of the atmosphere with strong winds, usually rain, thunder, lightning, or snow, right? It goes on to tornado. So you see hurricane, tornado, cyclone, a superstorm, a typhoon, a hailstorm, a monsoon, right? Dust devils, blizzard, snowstorm, ice storm. So a lot of these different types of things. It's left specifically. The Lord's not going to say hail and then flood and then snow and then thunder and then lightning, and name every single thing that He could do, because He can do a lot. All right. He just said destroying storm. A destroying storm. Was this a storm? Yes. Did it destroy? Yes. Then what is it? It's a destroying storm. All right. So going back from the top, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one. Who has it? The Lord. All right. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall He cast down to the earth with the hand. All right, and again, this was something that was, going on with Ephraim, but this shows you that this is in the Lord's arsenal. This is in His toolbox. This is something He can pull off. And we already seen the hail, all right, we didn't see it specifically, all right, when past lives, I'm sure. But, we have an account of the hail being used within, the Exodus, okay? So right off the bat, with the Exodus that happened with Israel being delivered from the land of Ham, all right, Egypt, that hail was huge, all right? And it's going to happen again. It's going to, all the things that happened in Egypt are going to be happening in the end days as well. So you got to realize the hail is going to be huge, 75, 85 pound balls of hail. All right, like cannonballs raining down, taking people out. We already see what happens with car damage from just like, a little bit hail bigger than about the size of a quarter. All right, so how much more damage? A cannonball, man? Ooh. I'm actually curious. ChatGPT again. So if hail, so if hail, the size of bowling balls started raining down, what would happen? And how far could they penetrate. All right. Says if hailstones the size of bowling balls, roughly 8 to 9 inches in diameter, 6 to 16 pounds, which is nothing. All right. Because in Revelation, one of the things that will happen right here is Revelation 16:21, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed Yahweh because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceedingly great. The weight, no, what if they were also the weight of a talent? It says, if hailstones the size of bowling balls also weighed a talent, an ancient unit of mass, which is about 75 pounds. Right here, 75 to 100 pounds, right? So, oh, there it says, right, duh. A talent, an ancient measurement is around 75 to 100 pounds. So now you're imagining 75 to 100 pound ice projectiles, 8 to 9 inches wide, falling from the sky. What would happen? Terminal velocity. Such a dense object would fall at 200 to 300 miles per hour. It would have kinetic energy equivalent to a small bomb or an artillery shell. That's like dropping a 500-pound hammer on a car from 10 stories high on every rooftop at once. Buildings. Total destruction of normal homes and light commercial buildings. Hailstones could penetrate roofs, floors, basements, collapse wooden or even light steel frame structures, smash through reinforced concrete depending on the velocity and impact point. Vehicles crushed flat. Even military-style armored vehicles would be damaged. Think of meteors or bunker-busting bombs. People and animals, instant death on impact. Even underground shelter may not be safe unless heavily reinforced. Environment, trees splintered like toothpicks. Wildlife wiped out in the open. Farmland, crops, and infrastructure would be totally annihilated. Ground penetration, several feet into soil. Cratering roads, sidewalks, parking lots. In the cities, you could expect water main breaks, gas line ruptures, potential fires from secondary impacts. This is extinction-level weather. You basically describe a high-altitude ice meteor barrage, raining down with explosive force. This scenario is not meteorologically possible in Earth's current atmosphere. It would require unrealistic supercell dynamics, extreme updrafts of 1,000 miles per hour that the Earth cannot produce, ice particles growing massively without breaking apart in turbulent shear zones. In ancient biblical imagery, hailstones weighing a talent are portrayed as divine punishment or apocalyptic phenomena, which tracks with just how bad this would be. So it would be divine punishment because it's not something the Earth itself would do by itself. No. And Earth doesn't do anything by itself regardless, Esau. So, yeah, man, this would be a biblical level of destruction. So that's something you need to realize that's happening in the end days. So a destroying storm, man, the Lord can have it be relatively light, or he could have it be catastrophic, apocalyptic levels of just destruction. All right? So, yeah, man. So that's what you need to realize. So that's that one. All right, here's another one. All right, 8 dead, 13 injured after a hot air balloon crash in Brazil. Let's go ahead and play the video and see what's going on.
Holding after a hot air balloon crashes in Brazil. According to NBC News, citing firefighters, the hot air balloon caught fire and tumbled from the sky on June 21st in Brazil's southern state of Santa Catarina, killing 8 people.
Fire.
Footage shared by local news outlet G1 showed billowing smoke coming from the balloon in flames as it hurtled toward the ground.
Goddamn. I know that was terrifying.
To social media, 2 people can be seen falling through the air as the fire spread on board. Santa Catarina's military fire brigade says per NBC
You gotta go watch
News,
that.
13 people survived and were taken to hospitals, adding that 21 people total were on board, including the pilot. The head police officer of Praia Grande municipality tells Brazilian newspaper Folha de Sao Paulo, translated from Portuguese per NBC News, according to the pilot, who is one of the survivors, a flame started inside the basket, and then he began to lower the balloon. When the balloon was very close to the ground, he ordered people to jump out of the basket. He adds some were unable to jump. The fire grew and the balloon ended up falling. Governor Jorginho Melo says in a video on X, "We are in mourning. A tragedy has happened. We will see how it unfolds, what happened, why it happened. But the important thing now is for the state structure to do what it can." Melo says he has asked authorities to head to the location, to do as much as possible to rescue, to help, to take to hospital, to comfort the families.
Go. Oh, see this video here.
Jesus Christ. Terror in the skies above Brazil Saturday as a hot air balloon carrying 21 people bursts into a fireball, crashing to the ground in a streak of smoke. The state's governor reports 8 people died. This video showing a smoking carriage nearing the ground. Police telling local media that some people got out before the flames lifted trapped passengers back into the air. Some later seen falling hundreds of feet. First responders searching the wreckage. Santa Catarina Governor Jorginho Melo saying they're in mourning and will find out what happened.
Meu Deus do céu.
Yeah, right there.
Jesus Cristo.
You hear what he said?
Jesus Cristo.
A lot of death right there. I'm surprised only 8 died. Right? There was another video that showed multiple people jumping or falling from a substantial height. Is this the video? That. Anyway, you saw it. Pretty much. Let me see. Same video?
Meu Deus do céu.
Yep.
Meu Deus do céu.
Same video. I don't know where this guy found this other video. Here it is, of the launch.
Tem gente pendurada, gente. Não, é uma pessoa, tô vendo aqui no zoom da câmera, gente, ele se jogou.
That's definitely one of the 8. we already saw this one, and that one's Brazil. And hey, guess what? For all you Brazilians in there screaming and watching your family die, guess what? Here's a scripture for you right here. This is 2 Chronicles 15 and 12 through 13. It says, and they entered into a covenant to seek the Lord Yahweh of their fathers. Okay, not Jesus Christos. None of that. All right? The Father Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. Okay? So, how do you say that? I can't remember. But, and they entered into a covenant to seek the Lord Yahweh of their fathers with all their heart and with all their soul, that whosoever would not seek the Lord Yahweh of Israel should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. All right, let's get another one. Okay. Let's get another. Let's get what's the scripture I'm thinking of? Oh, that's one I'm thinking of. Amos 9 and 10. It says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. There's another one that I'm thinking of as well. All sinners shall die. Let's see. That's the one. There's another one. Let me see if I can find it. Let me look through my notes. Let's get Proverbs 13:13. All right, Proverbs 13:13. It reads, whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. And, you know, Brazil's big on... Brazil, aren't they the ones with the big Jesus statue? Yeah, it's in Brazil. All right? Christ the Redeemer. They love Jesus Christos, right? Over there. All right? And that's an image of white Jesus, okay? Which is a false idol, all right? That's a false god, okay? And his name's not Jesus. The son's name is Yahweh Shai. The son and the father's name is Yahweh, okay? And they're not white, all right? They're brown, all right? Dark brown. So much so that they would be considered black, all right? And they have afroic woolly hair, as the Bible says. All right, there's been plenty of lessons on it. If you're at this time of history, all right, in 2025, and you don't know that, then you got to start considering that maybe the Lord ain't dealing with you, okay? Maybe the Lord is not dealing with you, okay? So yeah, man, and a lot of you Jakes do know, all right? A lot of you Jakes do know about the Hebrew Israelites. You know about us, all right? You don't want to have anything to do with us, but you know about us. All right, and you got to realize that when you learn about the Hebrew Israelites, that's really the Lord reaching out to you and giving you a chance. But you don't want to take it. You don't want none of it. Let's get Proverbs 1:24 through like 26 or 27. So 24, Proverbs 1:24, it says, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught. That's for nothing. You've made it useless, right? But you've set it not all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. You didn't want his correction. You didn't want none of it. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Why? For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. Okay? So another one. And I know it was happening. And I know it was happening. All right, on board there, and people in the crowd, that this was happening. They were saying, oh, Jesus Christos, it's Jesus Christos, oh, oh. You know, freaking out. Okay? Now, I'm not mocking your you know, the death of anybody. I'm just saying that's why it happened. All right? Judges 10 and 11, and maybe that'll put the fear in you. Say, oh shit, I need to get right. Judges 10 and 11, and the Lord said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians and from the Amorites, from the punishment of Ammon and from the Philistines? It couldn't have been first. It was Yahweh that was on the scene. Yahushai wasn't on the scene yet. And secondly, it wouldn't have been the name was not God. His name was Yahweh. Okay, it was not God. Together, God's many and Lord's many. Okay, and you know that's and then the name Jesus, that couldn't have been there either, because the J wasn't invented till the 1500s. This happened way before then, right? So the God, whatever, if you're calling on God or Jesus or, you know, no, you got it wrong. You have to call on Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. All right, the Father in the name of the Son. All right, Yahweh, the Father's name. Ba'Hashem in Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, means in the name of Yahushai. Okay, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. And sometimes you'll hear us say Ba'Hashem or Kakwadash. Kakwadash means Spirit Holy. All right, referring to the Holy Spirit. So Judges 10 and 11, and the Lord said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians, and from the Amorites, from the children of Ammon, and from the Philistines? Okay, you got to realize, you Brazilians over there, you're Jakes. All right, let me go and pull it up. All right. All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Colombians and Uruguayans. All right. Colombia, that's right over there. All right. They're considered, you know, Colombian. All right. Asher, you're in the Northern Kingdom with other, you know, Latinos, Dominicans. All right, we'll start from Dominicans, Simeon, the Dominicans, Zebulon, the so-called Guatemalans, the Panamanians, Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, Manasseh, the so-called Cubans, Gad, the so-called North American Indians, or Native Americans as they're called, Reuben, the so-called Seminole Indians, Naphtali, the so-called Argentinians and Chileans, Asher, the so-called Colombians, the Uruguayans, and Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. That's, you know, the northern kingdom of natives and so-called Latinos, right? Over here we have the southern kingdom. We have Judah, all right, the head tribe, so-called Negroes, so-called black folk that you see. Benjamin, the so-called West Indians, you know, the brothers over on those islands. And then Levi, the so-called Haitians, right? So you're the children of Israel, all right? But going on to verse 12, it says, the Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, and the Malonites, did oppress you, and you cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. Yet ye have forsaken me. See, in the past you called upon him, but now, you know, now you don't want him. Now it's, you know, you've fallen off, or you stopped, you didn't want to believe, or, you know, for some reason the Lord rejected you, right? Judges 10 and 13, yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore, and note that gods here has no capital G, so it's, you know, idols. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. So tell me, in that time with that air balloon crash, how did calling on Jesus go for you? By the looks of things, not very well. Not very well at all. Let me grab this drink. So here's another one. 6 dead after boat capsizes on Lake Tahoe. Go ahead and see if we can listen to it.
6 dead after boat capsizes on Lake Tahoe. This article is by Amanda Holpush and read by an automated...
Nope. It says 6 people died and 2 people are missing after a boat, and those 2 people missing are probably dead. They always end up dead. It says after a boat capsized on Lake Tahoe in California on Saturday afternoon, the U.S. Coast Guard said. 2 other people were rescued and taken to a hospital after the 27-foot-long boat overturned near D.L. Bliss State Park, sending 10 people into the water around 3 p.m. local time. A large wave appeared to have caused the boat, a gold Chris craft, to overturn, the Coast Guard said. There were winds up to 35 miles per hour and waves 6 to 8 feet at the time. So, yeah, if there were 35 mile per hour winds, 6 to 8 feet waves, and they didn't find them that night, yeah, they're probably swept so far out, man. It's just, it's not, you know, they're probably way out in the, you know, Lake Tahoe is a pretty big lake. So, it says the El Dorado County Sheriff's Office said on social media that its search and rescue team and its dive team would return on Sunday morning to continue looking for those missing. The identities of the victims would not be released until their families had been notified, the sheriff's office said. The boat returned on the southwestern side of Lake Tahoe, which is the largest alpine lake in North America, and is a major tourism destination that straddles California and Nevada. So, there you go. Look, Lake Tahoe. So yeah, the odds are you got lost out there, man. You probably go ass, man. You probably ain't getting found. Right? Unless you pray on Yahweh Shemi How Shai. But then again, you probably wouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. Right? So the Lord would have had you had an idea, no, I'm not gonna get on this boat, or someone would have called and you would have had, oh man, hey, I can't even go on this boat, damn it. Alright, man, I wanted to go with you guys, but I gotta take off. Right? Shit at work, right? And then we would have got you out somehow, right? So another act of judgment by Yahweh Shemi How Shai, because you didn't want to. And I don't know who was on that boat, what race of people, but it doesn't really matter what color they look like, because some of them still could have been Jake. All right. So let's get Psalms 9 and 16. Actually, let's get Amos 3 and 6. Showing you that this is the Lord that does these things. All right. We'll get Amos 3 and 6, and then we will get Psalms 9 and 16. But this is Amos 3 and 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it? The Lord does all these things. All right. As a matter of fact, we get Psalms 9 and 16, but I also want to get the Lord does. I, the Lord, do all these things. This is Psalms 9:16. It says, the Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higyon Selah. So, yeah, man, he's known by these things. Okay? We see all sorts of accounts throughout the Bible. All right? And if you want to be wicked, hey, you're going to be snared by your own doing. I, the Lord, do all these things. Deuteronomy 32 and 39, it says, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand, which means no one's going to be able to save you from that situation. So, another one. This is 3 dead, 81 injured after stand collapse in Algerian soccer match. Well, this is a completely different situation, but a lot of stuff going on in the world, man. And you can either get right or you can get got. Okay? Get right or get got. This one was particularly violent. Okay? I want to touch on this one. This one's violent, man. As a matter of fact, I want to get this one and then we'll get that. We'll close out with that one because that's crazy. So this is a armed gunman. So many different things. Actually, we'll get that one last. But this is from People. Bride shot dead. Groom and child injured after masked gunmen opened fire at the couple's wedding reception. One of the gunmen also died in the incident on June 22nd. Need to know. It says a bride is dead after masked men opened fire as she was leaving her wedding reception in Gault, France in the early hours of June 22nd. It's Muslims. Guarantee it's Muslims. We'll get there. I bet it's going to be Muslims. One of the shooters also died in the attack, while the groom, a child, and the groom's sister suffered injuries. Local officials have launched an investigation into the shooting. A bride is dead after her wedding reception ended in gunfire. The woman, her new husband, and their guests were wrapping up their wedding celebration. They thought it was done. In Gault, a village in southeastern France, in the early hours of Sunday, June 22nd, when the armed men wearing masks opened fire, a source close to the investigation told CBS News. It says, according to the source, the masked men began shooting as the bride and groom were leaving the reception around 4:30 a.m. local time, crazy hour in the morning, killing the bride and injuring 3 others. One of the shooters was also killed, the source told CBS News. He was run over by the couple's vehicle as they attempted to flee, per the outlet. Both the bride and one shooter died at the scene, according to French newspaper La Parisienne. All right. The groom was one of 3 people wounded in the attack, along with a 13-year-old child. Not child, but it says who was in the vehicle with the newlyweds as they tried to escape. Both the groom and the child suffered serious injuries. I'm trying to see here. Says local officials down here. Well, we'll read it from the top. Officials have launched a major operation to investigate the shooting and locate the assailants responsible for the attack, per CBS News. Local officials believe the attack was planned and potentially gang-related, according to Le Figaro. So they think it was targeted. So by an organized gang. So it could be a gang. Murders aren't only gang-related. Let's see. But I don't know. To me, I know France has a lot of issues with Muslim people over there, but they don't like talking about it. They don't like talking about it. They don't like talking about it at all because they feel like it's racist. But no, it's true. They stay doing those attacks. When you think of terrorist attacks, who do you think of? Them. Why? Because who's doing them the most? Them. They're the ones doing it. So, we have a couple. This is where we're gonna leave off. All right, we're gonna get this and some scripts, and then be done with that. 2, because I saw this one as I was pointing this one up. Right here, armed gunman shot dead after opening fire at Sunday church service. The FBI is monitoring the incident at Cross Point Church, where one person was shot in the leg during Sunday service. This is why you don't go around those places, man. All right. You don't go in those places. What, you're not even supposed to go into church. All right. We can get a scripture right here. This is church. All right. Matthew 18:20. Where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So when you have a few people together, that's church. All right. Not a temple. All right. And they don't like getting this scripture, but this is Acts 7:48. It says, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Solomon built him a house, right? As it said in the verse before that. We'll start up from 7. It said, but Solomon built him an house. Verse 48, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will you build me, saith the Lord? And what is my place? And what is the place of my rest? This whole world is the Lord's house. All right, He doesn't need a home built with these little stones. It says, hath not my hand made all these things? You're gonna build Him a house, all right? So that's one thing you need to know. Don't go around these places, man, because hey, it's a place of idol worship, and you go there and you're gonna get judged, man. You're gonna go there and you're gonna get judged. We've seen time and time again shootings happening at these churches, fires breaking out. I don't want to be nowhere around those places, man. Let alone worshiping in a place like that, right? So let's get and then here's a new thing, all right? South Carolina deputies respond to mass shooting during Juneteenth celebration. Let's go and see it. Well, they're not going to give us much, are they? Just a video. But yeah, apparently there was a shooting. Like I said, you just got to be careful, man. Like I said, it's Juneteenth doesn't even need to be celebrated like that because we're not even free. All right, just a couple days you heard me saying, there was one here, there wasn't a shooting, but I said the only reason I even thought about even starting to maybe go to it, not like starting to go, but just go to once because they were gonna have a bunch of food vendors, but I didn't go, all right, because I had to work. But you know what I would have done if I would have got my food and fucking left, because you don't want to stand around a bunch of Jake like that, especially a bunch of Jake that don't know shit. All right, they think they think they're free, and look, once you get a bunch of Jake in the area, it's bad. What ends up happening? Shootings and shit. like I said, even if I would have went when I didn't go, and that's, all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai that I didn't. Even if I would have went, I wouldn't have hung around. I would have went, right? Seen what was going on, right? Got my food and left. I'm not going to be hanging out and probably have some dancing and other little events. No, go see. Oh, what is this? What's this food truck? Okay, this has this. Okay, okay, cool. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to eat it in the car. All right, that's what actually, a matter of fact, me and my wife didn't go to a Juneteenth, but we went to, sometimes we go to like craft fairs or something like that, and they'll have those food vendors, and when we take the food, we'll look around, all right, and the last thing we usually get is get the food. We get the food, all right, we go there, we don't just hang out, we go around, look, is there, some cookies, those are cool, let's get those, okay, cool, let's go see, they got this, okay, cool, and then we'll go to the food vendors, and we take our food, eat it in the car, and then take our ass somewhere else, right? Not that, a craft fair is dangerous or anything like that, but that's the reason we went there, all right? But Jake's going to these places to celebrate, to coon out, all right? To ape out, right? And be in that spirit of mirth. What's Juneteenth? We free! We free! We free! And you got to take your ass to work tomorrow. You ain't free. That ain't free, all right? You gotta work 8 hours a day just to make some money that ain't even worth what you did, and you're free? Dumb, man. It shows you our people are, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. All right, or my people are foolish. They have not known me. All right, wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. Roughly paraphrasing. So it shows you, man. Jake, and look, man. Be circumspect, man. Going around a place like that for too long, like I said, it was already risky as it is. Just going there for food, and I didn't go. It's already risky as it is, but I mean, you gotta, you can't. Anything could happen anywhere. There's just areas where things are more likely to happen. Any area where you see a lot of melanation, right? You see a lot of melanin around, that's an area with a high probability for some shit to pop off just because Jake's under the curses. Not that our people are violent or anything like that. I mean, they are because they've gotten crazy, but they're not any more violent than Esau, all right? Same thing. It's just time and place, man. Time and place. You go around an area that has a bunch of, if there's a bunch of Edomites with guns and you're around a bar, I probably wouldn't fucking go there either because they're going to have, their spirits are going to be in weird fucking places. All right, they're going to have demons going around and they're going to be, like I said, their spirits going to be all messed up and under the influence of alcohol, cause them to act some type of weird way. So, let's get, Isaiah 45:7. I don't even know how long we've been going. It feels like an hour, about an hour. Yeah, 52 minutes. So Isaiah 45:7 says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So there you go. Now, if that was the case, and that is the case, and the Lord does all these things, if you wanted to be safe, who should you be following? The Lord. Who should you be in subjection to? The Lord. Whose commandments should you be keeping? The Lord's. Right? But Jake doesn't, this might be out of context. Let me go see. Yeah, right here. Isaiah 1:3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. Your dog knows who his owner is. Your cat knows who his owner is. You don't know who yours is. All right? You don't know who you belong to. You belong to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and you don't know, Jake. So more shit like this is going to happen. All right? And, if you don't seek the Lord. Try to grab I'm going through my notes. Let me try to see which ones I want to close out with. We already got Proverbs 13:13 earlier, but again, whoso despises the word shall be destroyed. He that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. So I don't want to hear that shit, man. You do his word, man. Y'all do too much with them commandments and shit, man. All y'all ever doing is commandments. You want me to stop eating pork? What? So I'm gonna die because I ate some pork? Lord gonna kill me because I ate some pork? Yes. No expectation having fool. All right. I've actually heard that before. Not that exact sentence, all right, with all the other shit before it. But I say, hey, man, the Lord said you ain't supposed to eat that. What? So the Lord's going to kill me because I ate some pork? Yes. Yes, you dumbass dullard. He's going to kill you because you ate some pork. He told you not to. Okay? The Lord told you not to say the word of flubber and you said it, he'd kill you for that too. But he didn't say not to do that. Well, why would he? It's just a word. Because it's not about what it is. It's not about that you ate pork. It's not about, you did that. It's because the Lord told you not to do the shit and you did it anyway. It's about disobedience. It's not about, it's a fucking animal. It's not about that. The Lord told you not to do the shit and you say, hey, I don't give a fuck about what you say. I'm going to do it anyway. And that's a disrespectful sentiment to have. And that's why the Lord fucked you up. Right? So think about it that way. Not because it's just some food. And, it's not food. Right? You say it's food. Oh, it's just some food. It's not food. All right? Would you eat plastic? No. It's edible. Did you know that Play-Doh is edible? It's non-toxic because they give it to kids. You can actually eat Play-Doh. The worst you could probably ever get is a stomachache. You could eat Play-Doh. You can go to the store right now, get Play-Doh and eat it. Elmer's glue. You could go to the store. Again, non-toxic. You can go there and get it and eat it. All right? You can go and take, the glue sticks. You can go and eat that. All right? Doesn't mean you need to eat the shit. It's not fucking food. There's a bunch of shit that's non-toxic. All right? But it's not food. All right? Well, I won't die if I eat. You won't die from eating like fucking one stick of glue or one thing of chapstick or one tub of Play-Doh either, but it probably ain't gonna be very fucking good for your body, right? So it's not food. Just because you can put it in your mouth, nom, 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 and swallow, don't mean that's fucking food. That's one thing you, Jake, need to realize. And I think maybe tomorrow, Lord willing, I'll do a lesson again on unclean and clean animals, all right? And I've done it time and time again, but maybe it needs to be periodically, we do those things again, because apparently some people don't know. They're like, you guys are like children. Oh, is this food? No, it's not food. Put that crawdad down. It's not food. Is this food? That's a frog leg. Put it down. What about it? That's a lobster leg. Put it down. Look, if the shit looks like a goddamn alien, probably ain't good to eat. Right? Most of the things, does a cow look like an alien? No. Does a deer look like an alien? No. Right? Does a chicken look like an alien? Not really. What about a crab? That shit looks like a goddamn monster from another world. Right? So, safe to assume, probably shouldn't eat it. A catfish don't even look like a regular fucking fish. Looks all weird and slimy and some weird amalgamation. It looks like if a fish was around a nuclear power plant and got some type of fucked up defect. Right? I'm not knocking Lord's creation in any type of way. I mean, they're still fish at the end of the day, but it doesn't look like something I'd want to eat. I'm sure they're cool in the distance. You can look and say, oh, whoa, wow, what a cool looking creature. I don't think that, I'll even look at a catfish, look at it. You can see it. They're kind of they're almost cute looking, right? With the little whiskers, almost. But I don't want to eat this, okay? I don't want to eat this. And you go look up a trout, which you can have. Just a normal looking fish. It looks like a fish, right? It just looks like a fish. Doesn't have all this extra shit going on, right? And especially when you got catfishes looking like this and shit. I don't want to eat that motherfucker. Look at that. That's a goddamn alien, right? Shouldn't be eating those things, man. If you want to eat something so goddamn dirty and it's still kosher, go and eat carp, okay? Carp. I believe you can eat carp. I believe is carp kosher. I believe they have fins and scales. Yes, carp is considered kosher according to Jewish dietary laws. The key requirement for fish to be kosher is that it must have both fins and scales that can easily be removed without tearing the skin. Well, no, never said that. It just has to have fins and scales. Carp possess both fins and scales that meet these criteria. There you go. Okay. So fins and scales, but you don't know that because you, Jake, don't know nothing, man. So let's get what else? Yeah, let's close out. Let's close out with this. Second address. 15, 24 through 27. So, here we go. That's where we're going to close out. Second address 15 and 24, down through 27, starting with verse 24, of course. Verse 24, woe to them that sin. Hold up. Sin is the well, I already gave it away, but right here, John 3 and 4, it says, what is sin? Gotta know what sin is, right? 1 John 3 and 4, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. You know what another word for transgression is? Breaking. All right, sin is the breaking of the law. All right, that was given to you. Now, we're not going to be perfect. We can't keep the law 100%. All right, to the best of our ability. We cannot put a catfish in our mouth. All right, we can't remove the pork from water bottle plastic or in our water source. We cannot do that. Okay, so that's something that's without our control. It is within my control when I go to a place and I see the menu and it says catfish, fried catfish. I can say, I ain't getting that shit. All right. What else do we got? Fried chicken? All right. I'll go ahead and get that then. You shouldn't be, fried chicken is unhealthy anyway. I just had it yesterday, but still, it's unhealthy. You shouldn't be eating it all the time anyway. And really, I'm trying to fix my diet. And, really, it'd be best if you don't eat it even occasionally. I like to eat it occasionally, right? But it's even occasionally is better than all the time. So, hey, to each their own. You just got to get better. At least get better with it. You don't want to eat that shit every day. Have you all fucked up. I'm already in not great health as it is, so it's not something I should be eating all the time. But every once in a while, man, you crave, a crispy, spicy chicken sandwich with some fries, and you know how it is, all right? So, but you should not, at least, if you're going to have it at all, try to limit it. Shouldn't be eating it every single day, all right? Hell, I'm even bad with it because I'll allow myself to do it once a week. I probably shouldn't even do it once a week. Probably should be every, maybe once a month if, right? So 2 Esdras 15:24, back to 24. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. What is sinning? Transgressing the law, breaking the law. The Lord said, don't eat pork. You went and did it. All right? That's transgression. The Lord said, don't commit adultery. You went and did it. That's a sin. You sinned. All right? And again, offend less. All right, is our goal. That doesn't mean, you were fucking, 5 guys' wives every week. Now you're down to 2. No, that doesn't mean. Offend less is we're going to offend regardless. All right, there's certain things you just don't do. You don't accidentally go and smoke a Newport. You don't accidentally go and smoke weed. You don't accidentally go and order. I've accidentally eaten bacon before. All right, as many brothers and sisters in this truth have. All right, you'll get your food. For some reason they fucking slip bacon into it. All right, I get a salad that ain't supposed to have bacon in it. I'm chewing it. There's bacon. It's happened to my wife. All right, happened to me. There was one instance where I was going to this burger place I would go, and I stopped going to it because it started pissing me off. I had ordered a burger and it did not have bacon in it. I knew 100%, I would have bet $100 on it. Hell, I would have bet $1,000. I bet $10,000 on it that menu item did not have bacon on it because it said right there what was in it. I even asked the people, hey, does it have bacon in it? No. Every time I went and got that goddamn burger, there'd be bacon on it. Some motherfucker in the kitchen was purposely trying to hook me up or something, putting bacon on it. And it pissed me off. I said no goddamn bacon. And I have to go in there every single time. And I have to say, hey, excuse me. Yeah, I got my order. You got to be nice. Here it is. You want to say, hey, motherfucker, I thought I told y'all motherfuckers no goddamn bacon, bitch. And you put bacon, you want to, the ego moment comes out, right? You don't want to have that. So you got to calm down. All right. Hey, excuse me. Yes, I just went through the drive-thru. Thank you. Yes, I got this burger. It's the number 3. It wasn't supposed to have the bacon on it. I can't have bacon. So I was wondering if you guys can remake it. And they always say, yes, of course, no problem. All right. But it's vexing that you even have to go and do that. All right. So that's an example of an accident. All right. Now, if I went on there, all right, and specifically ordered something with bacon, no, the Most High is going to kill you for that. All right. Because you knew it was wrong and you did it anyway. Okay. There was something, here it is. The Lord's not going to judge you because of stuff you had no idea about. Right. He'll wink at that. For example, there was this Korean place I was going to, and I was like, oh, finally, a place that doesn't have none of those things in it, called Cutbop. And I found out a lot of the sauce had, something in it that had seafood in it, all right? So I stopped eating it. But, Lord had mercy on me, Lord willing, right? And I prayed about it and all that. I didn't know. I really didn't know. And I don't order it now, all right? I didn't know. I had no idea because they hide that shit and stuff, man. They hide that shit and stuff. It's just like, me and my wife both really liked. What does liked mean? Liked means you previously did, but no longer. Both previously liked Panda Express. But even Apostle Hart was talking about, there ain't nothing vegan on the menu. Why? Why is there nothing vegan on the menu? because they use like oyster sauce or a fish sauce or something like that that comes from it's unclean oyster, I believe. All right. So yeah, man, we liked going there, but we don't go there anymore because they have that shit in there. We didn't know at the time. All right, and it's been I don't even know how many years it's been since I've been to a Panda. Man, I really like Panda. I love their fucking chow mein, man. Their chow mein fucking slapped. All right, but I bet if I look it up, is Panda Express chow mein vegan? If it is, I might go there just for the chow mein. Egg noodle. Let me see. Look, it says everything there has a potential for cross-contamination due to being prepared on the same equipment. And that's the other thing. There's another reason that we're constantly going off is because if you eat anywhere out, even if you don't eat out, if you get your meat somewhere that's been on a conveyor belt somewhere with some pork or around, and, you know, you go to a restaurant and grab some food, it's, you know, the spatula that touched the pork chop is touching your steak, all right, and all that. So, you know, that's not, you're not even supposed to eat off an oven that has ever even cooked pork, right? So think about that. So that's why we offend less. But everything there has a potential for cross-contamination due to be prepared on the same equipment. The only things that don't contain animal products in their ingredients are the white rice, brown rice, super greens, and veggie spring rolls. All right. It says, but veggie rolls do get cooked in the same deep fryer. So, there you go. Chow mein. Chow mein. So, wait, what happened here? The chow mein, spring rolls, apple pie rolls, and super greens are technically vegan. So, there you go. It is vegan. So, if I ever had to go to Panda Express, I would, you know, and this is what you got to do. I'm showing you literally my process, and my wife does it too. You look this up. Anybody that's calling himself, you know, a Hebrew Israelite that's actually trying to serve the Lord to the best of their ability, they're going to go and look it up. Hey, can we have it? Or, you know, sometimes my wife will even call ahead. I usually don't do it. She's usually the one that'll do it sometimes if she's finding a place. And ask. This is a big one, Jake. This is a big one. Especially, you know, you Northern Kingdom. You got to ask, do your beans contain lard? Because there's a lot of Israelite spots that fry their beans, the refried beans, in lard. Or they'll fry their tortillas in lard. Or they'll do something with lard. You know what lard is? Pork fat. You can't have it. All right? You can't have it. So, you gotta find out. Sometimes you gotta go, and, you know, what I did with the Cut Bop. You know, Cut Bop. Allergy menu. Or allergen menu. Alright, you go to Cut Bop. Okay. And you go here. And you go and you look up nutrition. Okay. You can do this anywhere. You can go and see, okay. So it has that. That's a nutrition menu. I'm not looking for the nutrition menu. I'm looking for the allergy menu. Okay. So sometimes you might have to call. But you go back. I found it one time. It was around here somewhere. So here's Cut Bop. You can go. Let me fix this. You can go and see. Okay, this is gonna say vegetarian. All right. So the Veggie Bop. You can have this one. Okay, you can have that one. Now you got to go and you look at the side, so you can see. Okay, barbecue. This is the one I was getting. The Beef Bop, barbecue beef. All right, but you got to look into the sauces, man. And let's see. Anyway, I'm really getting off topic on, you know, what it is, but this is the things you got to do, man. You got to go and look up. You got to go and look. Try to find menu. All right, that tells you that ain't it either. But yeah, man, you just look around, and sometimes you're gonna have to spend a little bit. All right, but if it's the first time going to that place, but after you know, then you know. All right, then you got to watch out, because I was getting the quarter pound coney, all right, or the foot long quarter pound coney or whatever from Sonic, because it was beef, 100% beef. But then they changed it to pork, and I knew because I tasted it. I think my wife got one at the same day, and we tasted it. I was like, what the fuck? It doesn't taste the same anymore. What did they do to it? And I instantly, I was like, let me look it up. Lo and behold, pork now. So I was like, well, fuck, you know, because they wanted to cheap out. It's cheaper to get pork hot dogs than it is beef. But you know what the other thing is? They taste like shit. All right. Anyway, so yeah, Jake, the Lord will kill you for those types of things but again, to the best of our ability. Let me go and get that scripture. Offend less. This is Ecclesiasticus 17:25. Return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins. Make thy prayer before his face and offend less. Mind you, remember, it doesn't say offend never, because that would be an impossible standard for us. Okay, it says offend less because we can offend less. That is within our ability. All right, again, what is within our ability? We can offend less. We know that place has that. You don't go there anymore. You keep going there, you can end up in an air balloon or a hot air balloon fire. All right, and you would think, oh, would the Lord would do it? Yes, he would. He's very terrible, but he's also very merciful. Okay, so let me start from the top, and we're gonna get this and then close out. 2nd Esdras 15:24. Woe means destruction, by the way. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for Yahweh shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. So there you go, man. You want to end up in a bad situation, you know, don't keep the Lord's commandments, all right? And again, we're not like IUIC, all right, with the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, all right? Because we know we go off, but offending less, okay? Doing what we can do to the best of our ability. Sometimes we have to work on Sabbath. That's going off, all right? Wearing mixed garments of mixed, diverse fabrics. That's going off, all right? If you're, your woman's on her cycle, on her period, guess what? You're around her, that's going on. You're not, well, not necessarily going off, but you're unclean, all right? It's going off to have her in the house. Technically, she's supposed to be, in the wilderness, all right? Not even supposed to be in the house, okay? So you got to realize all those different types of things, man, that we can't keep it 100% perfect. We need Yahweh Shem Shai. But what we can keep, we best be keeping, or the Lord will take you out for that. So that's a lesson. That's a judgment report, again, on June 22nd, 2025. We're going to go ahead and close out with that. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. I want to say shalom, you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.